We're back on your favourite local radio station, and we're joined by a really talented guy. Cortes, how are you?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
It was really nice to see you live a few months ago with Catherine Jenkins, and you really did just bring the house down, and you stole the show with Nessun Dorma, which is probably the best song to sing, isn't it?
It's a good number, and as you say, it's a lot of fun to sing it.
What's it like being on stage in front of literally thousands of people every night? You've come from nothing, yet the talent speaks for itself. That's remarkable, isn't it?
Well, thank you. I enjoy it very much to come out on stage, be it in a concert for thousands of people, or an opera house for a smaller number of people. It's different and always enjoyable. I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if I didn't like it.
For those who haven't heard your voice, tell us how it developed, or was it there all along?
No, I studied for years. I started studying in my father's school in Iceland. I was there for 4 years, and went to Vienna after that, to the academy there in Austria. And from there I went to Denmark to study in Copenhagen, and then I went to London to the Royal Academy on an opera course.
When you said you started in Iceland, you don't mean the freezer shop, do you?
No, I don't. I mean the country, Iceland.
It's a relief, isn't it? Your voice is unique, it is different, and it's kind of in keeping with what is popular right now. The G4s and Il Divo have really done a lot for guys like you, bring you to the fore, to enable you to get work, because probably 20 years ago you weren't very cool. Now everybody loves a guy who can stand on stage and sing, which is remarkable.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the music, the album that came out a few months ago here in the UK it's a crossover album. It's classical music with a hint of pop, and done in a sort of a classical arrangement. And that really, it's been going on for a while now. Mario Lanza did it, but then the three tenors, Domingo Carreras and Pavarotti, really got it going. And it's always becoming more popular and popular. And then the guys you mentioned, Il Divo and G4 and Watson and Catherine Jenkins, Leslie Garrett, these people have done more, taken the step even further. And I'd like to think that my contribution will help.
I'll tell you why I like your type of voice. It's because you can't hide behind anything. You're not trying to disguise it with clever technology. You're not hiding behind the music. You're there on stage with a microphone. What's it like for you being on stage, looking out at a crowd who are looking back at you in awe? Do you see funny things sometimes?
You do sometimes. You see the odd person fall asleep. I mean, but that's great if they do. Then they're relaxed and they have. If they're that relaxed, it's good. No, it's great to go on stage and to perform. It's a bit like an adrenaline shot for me, because I love it so much. And then when you at the end see the reaction, if they enjoy it, that's always an added bonus, really.
Let's talk a bit, Anuraki, about the voice for a moment. How careful do you have to be this time of year with the flus and the colds and the drink and the food before a performance? Is it a whole procedure, or are you one of these that smokes 40 a day and don't care? I
don't smoke 40 a day, and I do care. But no, you have to. My trick is to try and be as normal as you can, to eat what you want when you want, but take your vitamins and drink lots of water and lots of fruits and veg. You can't really do much more than that, really. I mean, if you get the flu, you get the flu, and the less you worry, the less like you are to get it. So there's obviously you've got to think of your voice, and for instance, I just came back from Singapore, so that's a 13-hour flight. So you've got to drink a lot during the flight and moisturize your nose cavities and all that kind of stuff. Just sort of
moisturize your nose cavities. How do you do that?
Well, because that's the first. Sort of a salt nose spray is always a clever thing. Some people like to put a bit of gel there, but that's to keep that moist. That's the first line of defense. But apart from things like that, little tricks, you just be as normal as you can.
Planes aren't good places for people like you, are they?
No, they're the worst, really. They're so dry, and the air pressure and all that kind of stuff.
And it's frustrating that because you're so successful, as with the boys from Il Divo, who we spoke to in this programme, and G4 before, and Russell, who also does the show, you're all over the world, so you're forced to be in those environments where you're more likely to, A, get dry, and B, be ill. So it's really inconvenient, isn't it?
It is sometimes, yes, it is sometimes. But as I said, you've got to try try and be in a funny way a bit reckless in that sense, because then you don't think about it and you just get on with what you do.
I have interviewed people before who literally will not speak 4 days a week and can't go out after a certain time and don't eat after a certain day. Is that more or less self-inflicted? That's their brain telling them that they should do that. It isn't necessary.
I think so, but again, people are very different, and I mean, some people cannot eat some kinds of food because something, and I understand that. For instance, with dairy products, I will not sort of have a huge cream pie an hour before I go on stage, because then that sort of does cause a bit of phlegm to come. But people are different, so one can't really judge what how they prepare themselves.
You must have been born singing, because you can't be trained to sing like you do. You can probably be trained to be better, but you must have been born singing.
Well, I've always been humming away since day one, but I did, as you say, do a lot of training, and to improve the technique, because you have to have a technique as a foundation. But I don't know. I like to think that it's in the blood because of my parents being in music. I don't know, tricky.
Let's talk about the number Nessun Dorma, which we'll end with. It probably is the biggest and most popular of all the classics, isn't it? It has to be also the most difficult, because those notes are high, they're long, and they're very loud. Do you have to build up for a song like that, or do you still have to clench and get ready for those big top notes?
No, it comes rather easily, which I'm thankful for, because of all the groundwork one has done. I enjoy singing it. I mean, as you say, it's quite a number, and probably one of the most famous ones. It's Pavarotti made it hugely famous at the World Cup, so it's a bit of a football anthem. And each time I do sing it, I always am aware that it is quite known, and that's a bit of an extra buzz, really.
What is the best song to sing?
You mean on the tour?
Just generally.
Generally, there's so many. I couldn't pick one. There's so. I mean, the opera composers are so different, and the styles, and also with the other kind of music. I couldn't answer that honestly.
Congratulations on the album. It is tremendous. It's in your stores now, and thank you very much for talking to me.
Thank you very much.